All right. It's Friday somewhere. Let's drink.
Must be a lot of oats in here because this body is perfect. So,
basic Mexican lager. It's good. It's light. It's crisp.
Pretty much all base malt, London yeast.
Well, it's a beer. I'll give it that.
It's
by
a
all, yeah.
I went with Hamm's, which is a classic American beer.
I mean, break up the word independent into more syllables. Why don't you?
He's a Yinzer, which is great. And most importantly, he's one of 16 Master Cicerones in the world. We do have a live audience here, and it's really great to do this. I personally can't believe you guys paid money to come out and listen to us talk. And with that, I'm going to hit stop. All right, brother, ready to do this?
yeah.
Oh, man. 17 minutes. Usually it takes us much longer to work out the fuck-ups than this.
Hey, new platform, new way to go. No problem.
Yeah. Love that sound. Oh, man. Oh, it smells so good. Oh. It's Friday somewhere. Let's drink. I'm Bearcat, and I am back. And I am joined by my good friend, Mr. Ed Grohl. Edwin, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. It feels weird to see your face. I feel like this quarantine seems to have taken 20 years. It's very strange, but good to be here, and I got nowhere else to be. So take all the time we like.
Yeah. We are in, what is this, month 5?
Yeah, it was, we got back, it was the day before, for Pennsylvania, it was the day before St. Patrick's Day, wisely. And so whatever the math is on that. So we're closing in, I think we're at month 4, we're closing in on month 5 here.
God.
We had just gotten back from a trip to Pittsburgh, and we knew one of our highfalutin state capital working friends was with us, and she kept having to excuse herself from our drunken shenanigans to take phone calls because everyone was like, we knew the shit was coming down because she's like, it's coming, like we're in a panic, and she's running out taking these hour-long phone calls and doing all this stuff. And we got lucky that we got that trip in, but at the same time, very weird. And then, St. Patrick's Day was canceled.
Yeah, it was canceled.
Probably for the best.
Can you imagine if St. Patrick's Day had gone on? Man.
Well, I mean, it's not like... I mean, by month 3, people were bored with it, and I had a buddy take a trip to New Orleans. People are just like, I'm bored with this, fuck it. And now it's like they're having their belated spring breaks all over the place.
Yeah. We have not done this well. I think it goes without saying. But one thing that is...
It's the American way. We just fuck off with this,
I've used this quote a couple of times. Winston Churchill said that about the Americans, you can always count on the Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
It's been a disaster. I mean, I've had boots on the ground. I've been... once the bars reopened, I've been there after several trips to Maryland when our liquor stores were shut down to get booze because God help me if I go 3 days without vodka. But even like this past weekend, I'm at brunch and I'm sitting in the corner minding my own business, and you have to wear in PA, you got to wear a mask into the building. And this is so they don't get shut down by PLCB. And this is at a bar that's across the street from PLCB. And I'm sitting in my little corner seat there, which thank you to the bar for making the Ed seat an open COVID seat. And I have a clear view of the front door and people coming in up the thing. And people are reading the sign that says PLCB mandates that you wear a mask anytime you're not seated at a table. People will stop, maskless, read it, and then just walk through the fucking door. And the staff, doesn't want to get overpowered or start an argument, and they're just like, all right, here, we'll sit you, and they just seat him as quickly as they can. The inmates are running the asylum, and they know it, and now that we're shut down partially again, like, oh, what are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's because you can't behave yourselves.
Right. That's right. You can't behave yourselves.
And it is literally the simplest goddamn thing on earth. Like, I'm a baby when it comes to stuff. So I'm like, hey, you just leave the mask in your car, you throw it in, you walk through the door, you sit down, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're going to do.
My big thing is when people recognize me at the grocery store, hey, Ed, and I'm like, you can only see half my face. How is that possible?
That does weird me out a little bit. Of course, I think I'm pretty easy to, like, pick out a crowd.
I mean, you of all people, I mean, and I probably stand out in the other way. People are like, hey, who's that midget over there? Oh, it's Ed. Who's that midget with impeccably spiky hair? Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
And aviators and a Falcons mask.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I got the
whiff of
mask off
booze.
Fanatics. Yeah, they're like, well, I spray the inside with some breath spray just so that it masks the smell.
It does match smell. Big fan of just the an Altoid and the behind the mask makes it all distance in the world. So I'll start tonight.
Yeah,
I am drinking. It's funny you mentioned Pittsburgh trip. I'm drinking Painter Pigment by Dancing Gnome.
Oh, nice.
And, this is so good. It's really good. I like Dancing Gnome stuff. It's got the same problem that all these, I think, very good Northeast style brewers have, which is a general sameness around their beer. But damn, this is a good beer.
They've done it from what I've had of their stuff. I've always found their stuff very good to great. I mean, they can't all be winners, but not everyone can be New Trail and just bat 1,000 no matter what the hell you do. Which seems odd to me. But.
New Trail is very good. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know who they are, but I love their beers.
They're in like Williamsport or one of those towns up there, and the brewer's a guy from Tired Hands. So he's cut his teeth. Sense. Yeah, he's not like Joe Blow off the street. Like they got a guy, and he's just they must be getting him carte blanche, and he's just murdering it. Everything they put out now, I'm just like, I have to try it. I have to try it. If I see it, I have to try it.
Yep, it's super good. I everything I've had from them is exceptional. Yeah. There's a little bit of lack of variety. Some of them do kind of have some sameness going on.
They do, but even like his Christmas cookie one, I was like, well, I'm going to hate the hell out of this. And I was like, this is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah. They really do got it going on.
And it should have sucked.
And it's available, which is, how many times have we talked about that? Beer can be great if you can't get it. What's the point, right?
I mean, remember all the shit that I did to get those Veil beers for that one, 3/4 of a year there where some guy was down there and then he'd bring it back, and then I'm PayPaling another guy driving out to his house, but somebody had to be at the brewery. You couldn't just like stumble upon it. But no, you can get New Trail pretty readily.
That Veil train that we were on feels like a bazillion years ago.
Right?
Man.
It was a thing, man. It was a good trail to have, and it's one of those. It was my peak Instagram where I was like, "Look at all this good shit that I've got," ha ha ha. And then like everybody's got it, but I guess they've fallen out of favor, just like the craft beer are locusts. The people are locusts. They will move on to the next thing and forget you even existed.
Yep. I'll talk more about this Painter Pigment in a second, but what are you having?
I have, and this was a last minute. I had to fridge dive today to see what we had left because I haven't been buying a whole lot of stuff. I have a 2012 J.W. Lee's Harvest Ale Autumn Limited Edition. Fully fermented robust ale has been brewed as a celebration of the brewer's art. It can be enjoyed now. It's got to have some sort of scotch or something in it because I can taste the peat. I get like a peaty flavor out of it.
A little bit smoky.
It's damn good though. First time I ever had this stuff was at the old Klingers back in probably 2003, I think it was. Here's how old I am. History lesson. I was 8 years old, and I was at Klingers, but they had a firkin of like but it was like like a 10-year-old vintage thing, and I
Yeah.
tried it. And I didn't care for it at first, but it grew on me, and I was like, okay. So every time I get a chance to try this stuff, I always go for it. Yeah, that was a unique experience too. It was one of the first Firkins I ever saw in my life.
For those of you scoring at home, that would be your Klinger's square on your IFS bingo.
Oh, and you could probably also check off the Ed called himself Old Square as well
Right,
at Alex's
right.
age.
Also, Bearcat drinking a Northeast IPA while also running it down and complaining about the sameness of it all. So
Yeah.
we just a heads up, we haven't done a show in months, but we're going to recycle the same old jokes and takes.
No, we
for
have
your
no new
entertainment.
bits. We have no new bits. I mean, I sit at home all day twiddling my thumbs watching goddamn Triumph the Insult Comic Dog YouTube videos. You think I can come up with some material, but
I love Triumph. Okay, so
Smigel is the funniest goddamn dude, man.
he's so brutal.
He's great.
The dog is like a superpower because he can say the most insane thing, but you can't be angry at the dog because the dog is a puppet, right? Like it's a great gimmick. He can be absolutely brutal. But
I subscribe to a bunch of Triumph stuff online, and the videos pop up in my home feed all the time, and I'm just watching like Triumph goes to the Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street, remember that? And
that was
Triumph
good.
Yeah, but like they just the Star Wars one's the one that is the classic.
The Star Wars is good.
Everyone gets
The Star
shit
Trek.
on.
Didn't he also do a Star Trek one?
Not as far as I know.
I don't know.
He did some of the VMAs, which were good. He's done some one-off things. I guess he's on that TBS thing that people are talking about, that there's like a tournament of comedy right now. Like Jim Norton's been doing his Chip Chipperson bits on it, like Cooking with Chip Chipperson, which bold move for TBS. But him and Triumph are in it, and a couple other people that I know. Yeah.
Do we
Watch
want
a
to
lot of
talk
comms.
about the state of comedy? Do you want to talk about that?
State of comedy right now is weird. Like Mark Normand just put out a special on YouTube, so he's just releasing it on YouTube, which is really good. But he also has been doing like mini documentaries of him going to like Texas and doing like small shows and everything, like while you can. But the state of comedy right now kind of sucks. Like it's kind of, I'm going to equate this to wrestling in a bit, in that the audience is integral to your enjoyment of that. I can watch these soccer matches with no crowd and not be affected by it at all. But the minute like you take the crowd out of wrestling, you take the crowd out of comedy, and somebody's just telling Zoom jokes and everyone's on a delay, it really hinders your ability to feel a room and know what's working and what's not. I mean,
There's a feedback loop there.
yeah, and it just like it can really. I've heard comedians talking about it on some of the shows I listen to, and they say it does hurt their timing and it hurts their ability, and they know full well once they're allowed to go back on stage, there's going to be a lot of shit because they just don't have good stuff, And do people want to talk about being quarantined? Probably not. But is anything else going on? I mean, upcoming election, I guess, and you got material there. I don't know, but it's been weird. Watching these poor comedians struggle out there to a group of like 15 people or whatever, it's odd. And I know that it's bothering them. And some people are like, I'm a New York comedian, but I've been staying with my parents in Connecticut for 3 or 4 months. You're not in the clubs. You're not walking in just doing a tight five or trying out some new material. It's got to suck and it's got to take a toll on you. And not only that, but from an income standpoint, I mean, these are people who are basically, working at, like, almost just like bartenders where you don't have a steady income, you don't have benefits, you don't have this and you don't have that. And it's, if you didn't have a whole lot saved up, you could be really crippled right now. And it kind of sucks, man, especially if you don't have like writing credits and things like that. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is. I also think that we were in a weird place with comedy before COVID hit in and around what was acceptable. People were having a hard time, I think, equating what they thought was acceptable to talk about or to laugh at, and then we got to deal with the pandemic, and the only real comedy I've watched that is contemporary to like the immediate moment where the time is now and it's happening now is the I watched the Dave Chappelle 8 minutes and 46 second special.
I mean, that almost wasn't even a comedy show.
I don't consider it a comedy. I think it was performance art of some sort.
Yeah, I thought. I was like, "Geez, like it'll take you aside a minute." It just, man, you could tell he was in a place. You could tell, but he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He wanted to be out there and say some shit, which he did. I thought, good for him.
I was impressed at how compact it was. Comedians have a tendency to fill up a lot of space.
Sure. I think that considering that he's Dave Chappelle and they were actually doing a live show and it was going to be a big thing that they were going to release out, basically just do whatever the fuck you want. You want to come up here and preach, do that. He was obviously feeling some stuff and, good for him that he went and got it off his chest and got heard. All this shit. It's like any bad thing that could happen is all happening in 8 months. It's just the worst.
It really is crazy. It really is crazy.
And now nobody can get along. Everyone hates each other right now.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground anywhere. Just nobody can be nice to each other at all. There's no good deeds. There's handouts. There's no, you can't say this. You can't say that. You're this. You're that. Like nobody can just be like, we're kind of all in this together. We're past that. Now everyone just hates each other.
Are you sure you're just not working something out by saying that because you got thrown out of the Midtown Facebook group?
That was... and somebody must have complained because I've said far worse in there just as like a silly aside, and somebody must have complained, and it was one of two things. And for those who don't know, before pandemic, I was quite absent on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I was never on it except for every once in a while I'd just check something real quick. But I have a Facebook account. I just was dormant basically. And when the pandemic hit, I'm sitting here in front of my laptops every day and just like, I don't know what's going on Facebook. And then I see all the stuff that's going on and I'm just like, oh shit. And so my whole mission has been to go on there and kind of be a jackass, and make sarcastic comments and, do things like that. Well, the other day, somebody posted that the flea market, and I'm in the Midtown group until they figure out that I moved out of Midtown. But I'm in the Midtown group.
Don't you have emeritus status or something? I mean,
I'm legacied in. I was there for 15 years. They can kiss my ass. But it's an extremely toxic group for all. It's very strange. But they did something about a flea market was helping black-owned tables, businesses with a discount or something. And then these guys come in like, why the handout? Why is this? Why not? Why blah, 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 blah. And they're going on and they're arguing with friends of mine and everything. And all I typed, I just said, wow, a lot of a-holes in here was my whole thing. That's it. And I even typed a-holes, not assholes, because I think a-holes is funnier.
A-hole is funnier.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Nicolas Cage from The Rock. I'm like, yeah, that's funnier. And then there was I realized there was another post I posted on, and this might have been, I'm starting to think this might have been the one because people take this one a lot more seriously. Out in front of the Planned Parenthood on 2nd Street in Harrisburg, the pro-life people go out there. And it's gotten to the point now where they're harassing people driving into Planned Parenthood, like stopping their cars and yelling at them. Oh. And I said, yeah, these people are dipshits. They're out there. I said, but they're usually non-confrontational. And I didn't mean, I don't care about your stance. Like, yeah. I care that you're bothering poor people. And some of those people are probably already having a bad fucking day and they don't need you and your damn clever sign out there yelling at them. And that's why don't bother the poor people that are going in there, possibly for birth control or to, go for, female health issues. Not everyone is going in there for abortions or whatever. So yeah, I'm just like, yeah, they're dipshits. They've never bothered me, but I'm not their target audience was my whole thing, which valid, I don't think that I'm the guy that obviously they're targeting the women going in there, but that makes you an asshole. And that's the whole thing. I just don't want people to be assholes. And if you're an asshole, I'm going to call you on it. Like and so one of those two, it might have been the pro-life people getting up somebody's ass. And he only gave me 5 days. A lot of times they'll throw me out. And that's how I know that someone probably complained. And he was like, but my reputation precedes me. They can't go too long without my awesome sense of humor in the Midtown Harrisburg group.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go in there and bring people down a notch every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm all for that. Is that a Tired Hands glass you got there?
It sure is.
Oh, that's
That came
nice.
full circle. Yeah, I
Wow.
love these type of glasses.
I gotta be honest. If someone came up to me and said, "What's Ed drinking tonight? Beer, non-beer," I would have said, not only is it a non-beer, I can nail this 100%. It will be some well vodka with no cal sports drink, and
It is, in fact, Finlandia vodka because the handles are on sale for $17 right now. And right now I am on a lemon lime bottle of Gatorade Zero.
there you go. See, yeah.
Yeah, the Zevia sodas aren't on sale right now, so I haven't been buying them. They're like $5.79 a six pack.
Oh, brutal! I can't believe they charge that. What's the sale price?
Sometimes it'll go down to $4, $4.50, and then I hop on and I buy like 3 6 packs at a time.
I'll tell you what. I really appreciate your bargain basement alcoholism. It's really
Well, people are like, well, why don't you buy Tito's? I'm like, do you even understand how many of these I buy in a week? Like, I'm on unemployment right now. I'm furloughed. Like, I'm going down. I'm not on the bottom shelf. I could be going for like the $9 handles, but I'm in that sweet $15 to $20 range, which is fine. Like,
that's a meaty middle. That's good there.
New Amsterdam is fine. Finlandia is fine. Smirnoff is fine. They're
Sky?
not offensive, and it's in there. If it's
Sky
on
like
sale, I'll buy it.
is that a
It's
step
on the
along?
same shelf.
Okay.
But I'm mixing it with fucking Gatorade. Like, what do I need to? I don't need a religious experience.
What are you 2-to-1 on those, or
What do you mean?
like what's your mix ratio?
I don't know. I'm using a stainless steel thing. I go by sound. And that's totally honest. I fill it with ice, and then I just listen. I'm like, ooh, we're getting close. And it's a 20-ounce tumbler, and then I just top it off with Gatorade, and then I take a sip, and if I've hurt myself a little much, I'll take a couple sips and then top it back off with more Gatorade.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. That's how the master works, folks.
After tonight, I got to stick to my guns. I'm up 6 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm up to 144. I got to start shedding some weight here. I don't like, and I can tell every pound I get, my frame is so small that I know immediately. I'm like, oh, I'm at 143. Like, I don't know.
I can shed 4 pounds in an afternoon. I wouldn't know. I could add 4 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, but the fun part about being built like me is that I can stick to the diet for 4 days and vodka, and I'll be down 4 pounds in like no time.
Boom, boom. God, we are way into this recording. We're like 20 minutes in, and we've talked very little beer. This is still a beer podcast, right? Or are we gonna just give that up?
I mean, I'm all for it. There's been a lot of weird beer news out there. I would like to say that I am floored that we haven't had more breweries go out of business or say that they have to shut down for like 6 months and I just can't believe it. I know that Gift Horse in York closed, but that was a wonky situation to begin with.
Yeah, I think everyone that's gone was going anyway, right?
I would venture to say so. I just some of these poor start, like Jesus, 0 Days expanding.
Yeah, they are.
And they're still going hard. They're expanding twice. They're putting one down the street from me here, the new plaza that's going in on Progress in Lingelstown. But they're going into that building on 3rd Street with the new apartments up there. Our buddy just moved into he's the first one in there into the new apartments. But yeah, they're going full steam ahead. I'm surprised nobody brought the reins back, but I guess everything was already paid for probably. So
I thought we would see the calling of the herd at this point. People are probably still just trying to hold on. Cut, and then just try to,
Well, some of these breweries though, like that don't sell food, as like a main staple of their income, I can see where that is sustainable on a to-go basis. If that's what you're doing, because a lot of like restaurants and stuff, you want people to sit down and have drinks, but then eat too. And if they're going to be eating up that table time, but if you don't serve food, I can kind of see where you might still be able to get by on that. But some of these places, like I don't know, what was Evergreen doing? Like there are seating and food and all this stuff. They got a chef, they got this, and that's a big ass space they fill there too.
Yeah.
So like that's a big hit. Now I know Larry and Norm can probably keep that place afloat. Like when they opened, they didn't necessarily need to open right away because they had to pay off some loan or whatever. But that's probably a bad example now that I think about it. But
I'm seeing my local places, they got to hustle. Mike down at Moo Duck is hustling to sling crowlers. And then also, he was doing this before I think the pandemic hit. On the weekends, smoking ribs, got a gigantic tanker of, for a smoker. And he's selling ribs and wings. And, you come in, you buy a couple racks of wings, a couple racks of ribs to go, and then a couple crowlers. But it's clear he's hustling. I hope he's making it because the guy's working hard as hell. I think a lot of folks are probably working twice as hard for maybe half the money or twice as hard for the same money. Both cases, it's got to be demoralizing, but what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of places that were like, where you're allowed to anyway, where they're like, we'll deliver, or like, we'll ship it to you like immediately, and I was like, ooh, it's a good idea, but it's kind of a half-court shot. Like, we're just going to walk around the neighborhood and deliver beer to people. Seems like kind of it's a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea.
So I thought it was an old idea. My grandfather would get Duquesne beer, and my understanding is I'm pretty sure they delivered it. You got it delivered back in the day, just like the milkman.
That's
returnable bottles. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I remember getting Yuengling returnable bottles in college, the Yuengling Premium. And you'd pay the extra like $2.50 a case for the deposit or whatever, and then you had to return them in the old World War II folded box. Yeah, that was good times. Back in
it would be nice to see returnables make a comeback because the glass is super thick, so they stay cold the whole time. That's the nice thing.
Who's putting beer in bottles anymore?
Yeah, it's true. All anyone buys is cans.
And that came out to bite everyone in the ass during the pandemic. They ran out of fucking cans.
They did.
They're like, all right, crowlers to go. Let's go. Wait, I can't get any crowlers in my plate? Like, it's a whirlwind of shit.
Well, I think it's the breweries that actually, and this is a lot of conjecture and speculation, a lot of just guessing on my part. I have to think that the breweries that were heavily reliant on kegs, restaurants, bars, those breweries have got to be getting killed. Like that middle tier, their volume, a significant portion of their volume is not in the case. It's in the keg.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a two-way street too. I mean, here in Pennsylvania, especially, getting those kegs in bars and getting those tap handles is, big time. A couple of our bars here locally are probably number 2 and number 3 for bars that sell Trogs products. And I mean, one of them hasn't reopened yet, and it's, Midtown hasn't reopened yet. Yeah, no, he's like, fuck it. And he put some tables outside, but it's a wonky block to be sitting outside on. But
that's not their clientele. That's not their.
Well, I think the problem is I know that likely they have enough money to do this. Like they can
ride it.
Spit it out. Yeah. B, I just get the distinct feeling that as I witnessed at what most people consider a nicer bar last week, people just cannot fucking handle themselves. And so I think he knows that. Like I think he knows the regulars will be fine, but they get a lot of like rando in there that could just be the Wild Goddamn West. And it's a big building to try and cover all your ground. And he probably is just like, we're just going to wait until things are like cleared up a little bit more. But I mean, imagine, that's a huge hit for Trogs. I mean, it's like their number 2 account in Central PA, and they're just not open.
That's brutal.
I just started doing cocktails to go that everyone's been doing.
Yeah,
distilleries are killing it. Those guys they flew off the charts. The Mid-State Distillery, my God, there's a line to get drinks, and they're serving beers, they're selling slushies, they're making hand sanitizer, and they told me they might not open for months because they're so into the hand sanitizer stuff that that's just what they do now until they can get back to regular stuff.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's nutty, man. I mean, they're doing a good job with their to-go stuff. I bought a couple bottles there in a pinch, so I'm not always cheap. But it's just they're really doing what they can. But I'm like, this really helped them, and the PLCB shutting down the state stores extremely helped them. You couldn't get near Dead Lightning in New Cumberland. They were lining up around the block, So good for them.
Yeah, good for them is right, and it probably caused a lot of people to discover them. A lot of people are probably like, I need to check that place out. Suddenly they're like, well, this is the only game in town. Better hit them up. And, the hand sanitizer thing really is interesting. When my workplace is buying it in 55-gallon drums, that tells you something.
Yeah, and they're making it in if I saw this correctly, they're making it in the booze bottles that they have, and they're just putting it out as hand sanitizer. And I don't know where it's going, but they said that that's just what they're doing now. That's their production.
There are distilleries that are now getting contracts with hospitals, schools.
How great is that?
Yeah.
How'd you like to land that?
Man. Yeah.
And distilleries are these cool little startups, mostly. I'm sure that Jack Daniels probably turn out millions of gallons of it. But when you're a little startup like Mid-State or Dead Lightning or whatever, and somebody comes down, good for them.
Yeah, good for them is right. Man. And you don't need to be licensed to make hand sanitizer.
No, it's just there. I've hit their drive-through numerous times for it's like they know I will see their Instagram posts and just race down there. And they're like, This week's boozy thing is vodka and mango and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm going to get a couple of those. Fuck this. Then I get their hours wrong, and then they give it to me anyway, and I feel like an asshole.
Well, you are an asshole, so you should feel
valid.
All right, so I'm gonna throw some more gas on this fire.
Oh boy.
I'm having a beer. I gotta tell you, I don't know if I've had this beer. I'm pretty sure I have not. But the unique thing is, it's been on my I want to have this beer for a long time, and up until the pandemic, pretty sure around the pandemic, it never showed up here in Central PA. But now, all of a sudden, it's here, and it's Surly Furious IPA.
Oh man, I remember when Surly was a white whale.
Yeah,
you had to drive to was it Michigan or Wisconsin? I get those backwards.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That's not where they're from.
This is where it's brewed and canned.
I think their brew pub, their initial brew pub, is in either the Upper Peninsula of Michigan or Wisconsin.
Twin Cities, Minnesota. It says it right on their Surly Brewing Company, Twin Cities, Minnesota.
That's their production. That can't be right.
It's on the can. I don't know what you want. It's right there on the label.
I'm going to fact check this.
How many Pinocchios do you think that's worth? Pants on fire, 5 Pinocchios. Jesus Christ. Now, I've wanted this beer for a long time. I don't know if I've had it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to wrap up. Before we crack this one open, I want to wrap up the Painter Pigment. 7%, 7%, and Citra and Strata hops. And it scores, on Untapped 4.16 with 1,700 ratings. I gave it a 4 1/4. Wow, I hit that really close, and I liked it. 4 1/4 feels about right. This is this is one of those times where I think Untapped actually gets it right, and it's good. It says that it's pleasantly balanced, dank finish, but it's not very dank, and it's not very unique. It's a good beer. if you see it, buy a 4-pack. It's not gonna blow you away, but I promise you'll love it. All right, let's do this early. I'm kind of excited about this.
Everything says Minneapolis, but I could swear at one point that was not where they were.
So
But I could be thinking of any other brewery.
I probably should have gotten a glass for this, but I'm drinking it out of the can. IPA, iconic, hoppy, and aggressive. This is a beer that before I even try it, I kind of assumed it was like a Dead Guy kind of like.
Dead Guy, Ringwood yeast.
I don't know. The way
like the amber ale.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be more amber, maybe more old school. I mean, this has been around for a while. I'm expecting something like kind of West Coasty. I don't know. It's been around forever. 6.7%, and this is one that people used to drive for. So here you go, Furious. Oh, okay. So it's not West Coasty. Not really, and it's certainly not New England IPA. It's kind of like a standard IPA, standard American IPA. It's not like a terrible hop bomb.
Is it? I don't know. You probably can't tell because it's not in a glass. Brown or gold?
It's brownish. It looks
brownish.
Like. Yeah.
Hang on 1 second, real quick.
So it's pretty good. Man. The nose is this is a little bit citrusy, but I probably have a lot of the last beer still in my. So I know it's in a pounder.
It's tough
nice.
it's tough to drink 2 IPAs back to back and have a clear palate.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not heavily carbonated. It's pretty easy drinking. It's definitely closer on the amber side. I'm looking at it now. It's definitely like pretty amber. Not orangey, and fairly clear. It looks like an old school IPA, tastes like an old school IPA. It's definitely got like a a multi-platform that the hops are working on. So it's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm glad I got a 4-pack of it. I don't know if it was worth the premium price, but damn, it's pretty good.
What it cost?
I knew you were asking me as soon as I said that.
You can't bring it up. I mean,
I just remember looking at the bill when I bought all these beers and going, "Damn, these are all expensive." Including
it's bad when you remember that it was expensive, but not how much it was.
Yeah,
the experience was worse.
I bought 4 6-packs. Sorry, 6 4-packs. God, we got a long way to go if I can't do this now. 6 4-packs at a beer distributor that it's one of my more secret ones. They usually have a pretty good selection, and they take pretty good care of me. And it was $96, and I'm like, son of a bitch, bastards.
That's a big tab, buddy.
It was a big tab. I'm like, man, fuckers like really nailed me.
You could have gotten a bottle of Finlandia for $17.
Yeah, I could have.
Lasted 3 days, maybe.
And it was all Toppling Goliath, a couple of these from Surly, and a couple other Daisy Cutter, Double Daisy Cutter, yeah, stuff like that.
Wow, I haven't seen a Daisy Cutter in ages. They came in here like a house of fire for like a year, and then vanished from Pennsylvania. Very strange.
I saw the Daisy Cutter, Double Daisy Cutter. I got excited. I was like, boom, instant buy. I was excited.
Daisy Cutter. That's a grassy one.
It is. It's super good.
I haven't
It's
had
got
one
a
in
great
ages.
name.
I'd love to try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a bomb or something? Or isn't that what a Daisy Cutter is?
Yeah, it's a type of bomb, yeah.
It's
a giant,
or whatever.
and it like puts out all these little bombs, and we use it to destroy people that are in countries that are poorer than ours, and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So I just checked my Untapped. I have not had this before. This is a new check-in. Very excited.
Oh, good.
Furious IPA, and
Shout out.
good.
Untapped. There's an app I haven't used in. I got my S20 Plus, and I don't think I've logged into it yet. Like,
Ooh,
yeah,
how you like that phone?
it's awesome, but I had the S10 Plus, and I ended up trading up, and there is, other than some camera tweaks, it's virtually no different. The 120 hertz screen is pointless. It just eats your battery, and if you can notice that too much, like, it's like when you walk into a bar and they don't turn off the store settings, and you can see the soap opera effect. That's all that is. It's all it is. And people are like,
I don't know. I got ProMotion on my iPad, and I love it. When you're on Twitter, it's super nice because I go through Twitter fast. I move.
I notice it on some apps, but not most. Some aren't built for it, and it just default back.
I think only Twitter's the only place where I really use it. That, and if I'm going through a big PDF, it's nice. I can like
Sure,
swipe through.
there, yeah, that'll work.
That was nice. But other than that, I don't need it. But when you're on that iPad and you're flying through Twitter, it looks super good. And then I get on my phone, which is a brand new, it's the latest and greatest iPhone, and it's not there, and you're like scrolling fast, and you're like, it's all shitty. I don't like that. So the iPhone better get ProMotion on the next one. I don't care
will
if it
say
eats the battery.
two things about the 20 Plus that I've noticed. The charger they give you in the box, it now, like, I plug it in, it says super fast charging. I will take a shower and come out, and it'll be 60% higher than it was. Like,
Wow.
yeah, like it flies. And since they removed the headphone jack, they included a pair of AKG USB-C headphones with it. So, like, I listen to podcasts when I sleep. I'm a sleeper. And so I didn't have to get, like, an adapter or anything. They just gave you the headphones. I was
Nice.
like, well, that's nice of them. I mean, it's an $1,100 phone. You better, but...
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I should. My phone is probably like $1,200-$1,300.
And I don't pay for them up front in case anybody thinks I'm trying to be an asshole. I just get the T-Mobile thing, and every year you upgrade every year. Once you pay it off halfway, they're like, you can upgrade again, and that's just what I do.
That's what I do with the iPhone. I just get a new iPhone every year. It's I'm on the yearly subscription thingy, and I love it. It's a total luxury. But for work, I'm on my phone constantly. Phone calls, messaging, and MS Teams now a ton, and then email.
Yes, I heard that's a big thing now.
I like MS Teams. Like it better than Slack, and we've been Slack users on this podcast for 3 years.
Yeah, at least. My
And-
Slack's been wonky lately. Like, I'll get a notification that you sent a message and I can read it, and then I'll go in and the messages aren't there. And then I'll go back in an hour later and they all magically appear, like, out of order. It's very strange.
The only people I talk to on Slack anymore, I used to have a couple channels. The only channels I have left are you and Easy. So, and I'd probably like to decommission Slack at some point, but I don't know, we're on it.
You tell me to go to a new thing, I'll go to a new thing.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it's a new messaging thing. I can't get my whole family on it. I don't know.
Well,
I almost have a separate messaging app for every single person I talk to in my life.
How many
and I don't care.
messaging apps do you have?
Well, let's go to the source here, and I'll tell you.
Yep.
Signal. Are we going to count Twitter apps, Instagram, or anything like that?
Well, do you use those DMs in those? Do you really use them?
I use Phoenix for Twitter. Instagram is just the Instagram app. Slack, Discord, WhatsApp. Untappd.
You use Discord? Are you a fucking gamer? What is that?
Actually, the Yacht Rock guys moved from Slack to Discord, and now I'm in there interacting with them.
Do you like it?
It's confusing. I also get a lot of my Reddit illegal sports streams places went to Discord, so I have that.
Oh, we'll have to talk. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hangouts, Nextdoor, Reddit.
You wait. Next door? You use that for comedy purposes, right?
Oh, I am the fucking king of Lower Paxton Nextdoor, buddy. Reddit, which I am now addicted to.
I love Reddit.
Mackie Plus is my Facebook app. Snapchat, Duo, Meet, WebEx Meet, and Zoom.
Duo. Do people use Duo?
Duo is actually really good, but nobody uses it. I
thought it was getting decommissioned.
No, that was Allo. Duo is the video one.
But I thought that was moving to Meet, right?
Nah, that was Hangouts is going to turn into Meet.
You can understand why someone may be confused as to what Google is keeping versus canceling.
Yeah, not everyone's dorky like me and reads tech blogs every day so they can keep up with that shit. Like if you're the average user, just one day you're going to wake up and Hangouts is going to be something else.
So, like, I use Hangouts for one person.
I have Hangouts for 2 people, Ryan and Jay.
I use Signal for 3 people.
Signal's great. I love it.
You and I are on Signal, and I like it on there.
It's very good.
We should move Dave to Signal. Can you do a 3-party Signal, right? Yeah.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Slack is you, Dave, and I. And then really everything else I have is text messages. And really when I mean text messages, I mean iMessage. I love iMessage. And honestly, if you were to come over to, and I know you will never do this, but if you were to come over to
iOS.
if you were to come over to iOS, you might be like the strongest holdout I have. You and one buddy from college.
Me, I'm on a group text with all my college buddies, and they all have iPhones. And
Yeah.
the worst part about them having iPhones is they like messages and
Yep.
stuff. That sends me a separate text.
Well,
Like,
wait until they start threading the texts in the new iMessage update. You're going to be in real hell.
I mean, I might try to just get them to go to Signal.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'd get them to move to Signal, or why don't you just get an old decommissioned iPhone and just, use that over Wi-Fi for that.
Probably do it with. I don't know if my iPad 2 would still. It runs, but I don't know if it would be able to handle it.
Yeah.
I had it on there for a while, and I just. I don't know. I have so many goddamn messaging apps. I don't know. I haven't used. I had a Kick.
Kick.
At one point.
It wasn't. Isn't that what? Like 2020 was like talking about it. Like kids were like buying drugs on Kick and shit. Like that feels like
it was pretty. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't use it anymore. I had like one person on Kick. That was very weird. But yeah.
How about AOL Instant Messenger? AIM? Do you still have an AIM account?
I still say my favorite joke of the pandemic was when the OpenPA people went to the Capitol and I said, "This is the biggest gathering of AOL email accounts you'll ever see."
That's a good joke. That's a good joke. When I was getting together with a bunch of air quotes, with a bunch of friends from college, one of them still has a Hotmail account. I was like, "Holy shit, it's a dinosaur!"
God. Yeah, or like I. And what's funny is I was explaining to a person on the phone. I was getting something installed or something, I forget, and I was trying to get my phone situation handled. And I told the girl it's ed5275@gmail.com. And she's like, "Oh." And I said, yeah. I said, "Well, if you send it to Hotmail, Yahoo, AOL, Lycos, mail.com, it's likely it'll go somewhere that'll be to me. I just won't ever see it."
Right.
That's my same email address through all of them.
Do you have a GeoCities address that was?
No. But I mean, I tried them all. I was just like, "Ooh, Lycos Mail, that's new, and it has these wacky features."
I'll tell you what. That Hey Mail, hey.com. I don't know if you.
No clue.
It's a new email client, hey.com. It's by the guys that make Basecamp, which is like a very Apple-y version of like Slack and MS Teams.
I know of it, but I know about Basecamp. I've at least read about it. But
Yeah, the same company owns hey.com, and they're trying to reinvent email, which I hate email. I mean, I hate it. I really do. I think email is just the worst. And it's the worst because basically what the internet did is you created an open portal for everyone in the world to send you their trash. And
it's true, but at the same time, like, even if you want to sign up for like COVID testing, you have to have an email address.
Got to have an email account, right?
You can't not have one.
And the stickiness of email really is kind of amazing. It feels like email is probably the cockroach of the internet. It cannot be killed. Everything else will die, but email will remain. And I think it's interesting when people try to reinvent it. I really do. But I also think totally pointless because it will always exist as it is, which is an open format nightmare. And the thing is, I really like open format stuff. Like part of the reason why I started a podcast, the reason why I started Operation Shutdown, which eventually became this podcast, is that I really care about podcasts as a platform. I like that it's open. I like that it's an RSS feed. I like that anyone can just, throw it out there. And in order to, I kind of felt like in order to maintain that as an open platform, I had a responsibility to like make one. Does that help the cause? I don't know, but it doesn't hurt the cause.
I've never said I'm here to make beer better.
No,
I want to make it entertaining. I like to entertain people. I mean, you know me. I can't. I'm so insecure that if I don't tell a joke every 10 seconds, that I might just go into fetal status and start crying.
Yeah,
I can't let my guard down. But I just want people to like laugh and maybe see like, okay, you can joke about this stuff and it's fun and it's accessible. And this guy's not like an over-the-top beer crazed nerd that needs to know the alpha level of all the hops that are in your beer. It's, drinking is supposed to be fun. And
it is supposed to be fun.
That's the way I approach it. And that's the way I hope people listen to us. Is with these guys should be fun.
And, who knows if this is good content. We'll probably hear from the people that anyone who still subscribes maybe we'll hear from them. But one of the things
I'm nervous about having to edit again. I have to find all my sound drops and everything. I don't know where they are.
Oh, well, so far we haven't had to make any cuts. And
no, but I mean even like the intro and all that stuff, it's stashed. I think it's in I've been hoarding hard drives over quarantine, so it's in one of them. Because I think when I got my computer fixed a couple months ago, I think I just shoved everything into an external hard drive, so it's got to be in there. All that stuff. Whew. And Audacity, I don't even know if I have that on here yet.
One of the things that we were talking about leading up to this, what was podcast? It's beer podcast.
Speaking of beer, I opened a 2018 Event Horizon. That's my second beer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Event Horizon Imperial Stout brewed with honey, aged in bourbon barrels, 1918.
I've had that.
That was bottled on.
I've had that. Old Hickory, right? Is that who makes it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've had that. That's good. I've had that year. Yes. That's a really good one.
That was another fridge dive find. I almost would say dumpster dive, but we have the stuff that we have left is like really good shit because I haven't been buying like good beers or anything because I just don't. And so like we're pulling out stuff and I'm like, oh my God, like that's a 10-year-old Bourbon County. I can't just drink that on the podcast. The J.W. Lee's, I'm surprised I got permission to drink that. I was quite happy about it.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. The Old Hickory there, that's the Event Horizon. That's a good beer.
Yeah, this is a good, and I purposely got the left-hand glass for the stout.
That's nice glass.
Like, I love the left hand, yeah. Been there.
So one of the things that we were discussing was like beer podcast, and really I want to talk about it more universally across than just beer podcast, but like, beer social media right now, which is always a weird place, but I feel like it's gotten stranger.
You probably have your finger on the pulse of this more than I do. Mine is relegated to like worst beer blog and girls with beers. I'm not like I don't follow a whole lot of industry types. I got Trogs in there and everything, but my Instagram is like they post like once a day. Like, they're not doing anything controversial. They're just like it's the season for Nibble Giant.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you seeing?
There's a couple of things that were out there, and we'll put links in the show notes. The one was there was a story about the monopoly of Malt Couture podcast, which is actually just Don't Drink Beer, and Alex Kidd. Basically,
maybe is it worst beer blog or Don't Drink Beer?
Don't drink beer. Don't drink beer.
how is that a monopoly? How's a podcast a monopoly?
Yeah, it's not really a monopoly, but what they're saying is that it's consuming so much of the attention, so much of the that it's directing a lot of, and they take it from I think a fairly neutral standpoint. You know that there's benefits to this, there's impact to it. The problem I have with Alex, and I do like him, and I think he comes from a very good place around craft beer. He doesn't take it too seriously. My issue is that he can be so esoteric. He can be so difficult to understand. His references are so obscure. It's like he's trying to make sure that you don't understand him. It's off-putting to me. Like I like smart commentary, but I also want to make sure that if you're going to make so many references, don't make me look up 5 in one posting.
I'm going to give you what I'm picturing in my head is Dennis Miller on Monday Night
Football. Bingo. That is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
The way you're describing it, that's what I'm picturing in my head.
And I like Dennis Miller. Yeah. Oh, okay. You made a Machiavelli, the Prince reference. Ha ha ha. I get that. Dennis
book, assholes.
Dennis Miller works for me. I understand why it doesn't work for everyone else. But Dennis Miller's operating on a level and a type of humor that I'm not even going to say that completely, because Dennis Miller's always trying to get more esoteric, trying to get more obscure. And so I'm not going to stand here and tell you I get them all. The Far Side, right? If you didn't read The Far Side and got to a panel, you went, I don't get it, right?
Yeah, I read it as a kid, and let me tell you, running about 60% get it.
Yeah, yeah, and I love The Far Side. Gary Larson back, by the way. 2020 brought The Far Side back. If you didn't know that,
I heard that.
Yeah, it's great.
I read about it. I haven't seen his new stuff. I don't know.
It's same as the old stuff. Good. But Alex is he's so far out there. Here's the part about Alex I really like, though. And this goes to one of my major issues with craft beer, social media, and craft beer podcasts. He always discloses. He tells you what he is given. He discloses within his work where the beer came from. If it's been provided to him, if it's been provided to him directly from the brewery, it's right there in his social media. And the obligation.
Isn't that the standard?
It actually is the standard. And we'll put a link to it in the show notes.
I watch so many goddamn video game YouTube channels.
Yep.
And whenever they do a game thing, they'll be like, hey, full disclosure, this was given to me by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or whomever, and I just figured that was a media thing.
Yep. And the FTC actually has rules around this, and we'll put a link to it in the into the show notes here. But there are rules around disclosure for what they call social media influencers, which this is a plain reading text. There's more complex version, but we'll put the easy to read version here. And really, there's an obligation to tell people who follow you what your relationship is with whoever has provided you a product. And while Alex, I don't love all his work, damn it if he doesn't get that part right. And the relationship that a lot of podcasts have, and a lot of, and this really exists on the Instagram. No one on Instagram talks about the free beer they get. I rarely, and mostly only from one brewery, will be given some beer. And every time it happens, I'll do a little write up on my Instagram, and then the first comment is disclosure. And it's not hard. Like, why aren't the podcasts providing a disclosure? Why aren't these Instagram folks providing disclosure? I've talked about this before. It's at this point in 2020 gotten out of control.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, I know a lot of the girls that I follow likely are getting beer from what I would fans. So, I mean, is Modern Times really sending
no
a Hoppy Floppy, a 4-pack, or
the thirsty bros throwing girls that drink the beer with their cleavage out. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. You're talking about like if I don't know how you still get it and Dave still gets it. I don't get any of this shit anymore. T gets it. Nobody cares about me anymore. Like, we should be getting two at this house. I'm spoiled enough because I have a relative that works at goddamn Trogs and brings us everything that they
Yeah.
I should never complain. But no, I would absolutely always, and
they know you're fleecing them on the employee discount.
Yeah, that's probably, they're like, this fucking guy. I think John would be amused by that, actually.
If he listens, I hope John, you better tell us about that. Let me know you listen.
You already have my address. Just put my name on something.
Hey, you already got a case of it at the discount rate. Shut up, Ed.
Yeah, we had Nimble Giant day one.
Oh, Nimble Giant was so good this year.
It was good. It was brewery fresh, too. We had a good time with it. But, I don't know. My instinct would always be to, like, hey, just because I've seen other people do it, just be like, hey, I would say it. This was provided to me by so and so, but I will not. My review will reflect what I think about this. Not.
And on this
not
show,
that my reviews matter, but
on this show, we would say when we received a beer, this is who we got it from. Even if it was just a fan, we used to have a couple. I had a couple of people that liked the show be like, hey, here's a beer. Did I trade beers with those folks? Yes. But I made sure to say, hey, thanks, Dustin, for hooking us up with a beer. I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. It takes so little in order to just be clear about what your relationships are.
I mean, who's not doing this? Or how
I don't think anyone.
How do we know?
Do we want to start naming names?
I don't know who any of these fucking people are.
I don't want to name names.
Well, if it's someone who I might run into, don't name names. But if it's some asshole on Instagram, I don't care.
We've run into folks. So I just
that sucks.
I don't want
because I know exactly what you're talking about.
We run into folks. It's people on the internet. They're all on the internet. It's people on Twitter. It's people on Instagram. It's people at podcasts. It's people with, it used to be blogs. I mean, blogs. God, blogs are dead. I miss blogs.
Oh yeah, someone said some blog host got hacked or something, and I was like, I forget what it was. I recognized the name, but now it was like, I read it this morning. I'll never remember. But they were like, so, thousands of blogs are taken down. I was like, thousands of blogs? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's like taking down a bus station.
It's like finding an old GeoCities site for
how would you know
or whatever.
How'd you know it get taken down?
And you're like, oh, that's still up there. Oh, pets.com is still here. Look at that. Woo.
I don't know. God. It's YouTube reviews. I will say this. I feel like the YouTube reviews.
I luckily do not watch a lot of YouTube beer reviews.
It's been a while since I watched one, but those folks, they do tell you. I don't know. It seems like where you go is more dependent upon who discloses.
Who's the guy that I've met him once or twice? Does he still do beer reviews? I forget his damn name. He was like he would get like thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Like, he was big, and I forget his goddamn name or his site name. Probably because I haven't watched a beer review in 7 years.
I'm gonna find it. Hold tight. You can hear me typing.
He's a guy we've met. He's local.
Yeah. I'm going to find it here. Burn time while I look.
Ah, jeez. I hate when I can't remember shit like this, and it's people that I've met face to face, or I'm just like, I'm gonna see them again and just be like, "Hey, dude, I'm an old guy. Don't expect me to remember your shit." But yeah, he would get like a couple 100,000 hits, I think. Oh man, and he had like kind of like professionally done, and he would pour it out and he'd taste it, and he was real. For my taste, he was a little over the top about the details in it.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's kind of a bigger dude, bald, I think. I don't remember.
Really? Bigger dude? Really? You don't say.
Yeah, who drinks beer for a living.
God. Oh.
I wonder if beer videos are able to be monetized anymore, because it's technically...
Beer Geek Nation.
Beer Geek Nation. There you go. Is that
yes. Let's see if he's still around.
Still making vids?
He had a his we'll put a link to his site. No, he has not had a review in 2 years. Wow. And he's done a lot of videos. A lot.
And some of them have a lot of hits, right?
10,000 views on the last one, 12,000.
I think he was bigger in his heyday. Maybe he was falling off, but
I don't know. No, just doing like a, scrolling back, the most he ever had, it looks like 8K. Which, I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, most we ever had is like several hundred, maybe 1,000, downloads or hits. It's not like we were lighting the world on fire.
No, but
that's not why we did it.
We were doing that for our small following of people. I wouldn't say,
Yeah.
I was never like, oh, we're going to get 1 million hits out of chugging a beer in my backyard. Like,
we never took it seriously enough.
I don't know. The problem is when you start taking it seriously, I think that sometimes your content can slide. Like, now, if we really wanted to, we probably could have found odd ways to get new followers and listeners by farming out to different things. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to have to all of a sudden become not what we were doing because now we have followers and we have to pertain to this or that. I'd rather just continue to have fun with it. And if people organically listen to it,
great.
I think we had a pretty good run there for a few years where people knew who we were.
Yes.
People people have run into me and been like, "Hey, I've listened to your podcast." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Whoa!
That's all I care about.
Wait,
right.
Did you listen more than once?
Well, yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Download it on 3 apps, please. No, I mean, I never really was like, all right, well, this is going to be a big, huge thing. I mean, we all have full-time jobs, and you two are important. Like, I'm just a working schlep, but it just, there comes a point where you gotta make it like if we were getting 2 million views on a YouTube video, I'd be like, yeah, we should keep doing this.
Yeah.
We're making $20,000 a video, let's do this. But yeah, that's just not the way the world works.
Number 3. Okay, so
oh shit, I didn't bring a number 3. That's all right though. I'm still not even halfway through.
So I packed 4.
You thought I had farther than I did. I like when you sent me the thing. You're like 8 to 11. I was like, if I'm on this till 11, that's the latest I've stayed up during quarantine.
What's your bedtime now?
Typically, I will be in bed prior. Like, I will at least go up to bed prior to 9 o'clock, but I will also be out of bed prior to 6 o'clock. I just am that person. But every once in a while, there's a wild card. I'll fall into a movie and be like, all right, and it's like 10. But even on like a Friday night or whatever, just because every day is exactly the same, I'll still go to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, what am I missing?
I don't have regular sleep anymore. I'm an early riser like you. 5:30 I'm up. But I've also been waking up at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. I feel like the quarantine is screwed with my internal clock a lot. Not just the days of the week.
Are you able to fall back asleep?
So what I do is I get on my phone, what everyone does. Read Twitter, check Reddit. COVID has been huge for Reddit for me. I'm all in on Reddit. I love Reddit.
I only follow jackass stuff like idiots in cars.
Yeah.
and
Oh, I love idiots in cars. Yeah. Trashy.
Public freakouts, actual public freakouts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Fuck you,
Yes.
Karen.
Ooh, I don't know that one. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm going to have to add that one.
And then I have stuff like Breath of the Wild, Nintendo.
By the way,
Queens of the Stone Age.
So we restarted Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god.
We restarted. My son's now 8. I think when we first got it, he was 5. And when we first played it, he was sitting next to me while I played it. And he was helping, right? And now we restarted it, just clean start. And now I sit next to him while he plays it. I'm helping him. And his birthday's coming up. And he asked for a Breath of the Wild poster for his room. And there's the only video game franchise that's important to me is Zelda. That's really the only one.
It's a good one to pick.
Yeah, I feel like it. And he's really into it, and that feels cool. So, that's good, like for me to chalk up as part of like a bunch of stuff. This quarantine sucks, and overall it's terrible. But if you're standing there going, it's all bad, you're not looking for like the things that are in it that are good, because there are good things in it.
I will assure you that going for all 900 Korok seeds is not one of the good things in quarantine, because I did it, and it was one of the most goddamn life-sucking experiences I've ever had.
Are you 100% on that now?
I am at 99 point something. I figured out since I have the DLC packs, I have to go do all the extra stupid shrines, and I have to beat all the. They take all your armor and give you 2 weapons and a couple things, and you have to beat all the Blight Ganons. Yeah, and then if I do that, I get the motorcycle or whatever the hell. But Tyranny's done it. But I'm like, oh god, I got the Korok seeds. Now I'm just like, fuck this. I beat a couple Lionels for the first time in the 200 hours I played it. Now I'm just going head on with them. I've upgraded my armor so high that I can just take them head on. They're taking off half a heart, and I'm like, oh, screw this guy. Like, he's going to die.
Now, just so I understand, to 100%, do you have to do the DLC content too, or do you do the...
Not the Master Sword trials. You have to do the ones where you... So they give you the one hit...
Everyone's deleting this now, by the way.
Oh, yeah. you have to take the one hit crusher. You go back to the...
Yeah, hurry up.
Temple of Resurrection.
You got to
take the one hit thing. You got to go out. I'll figure it out. But you got to go out and you got to beat 16 new shrines, and that's where I was missing all my stuff. It is a pain in the ass.
No more Breath of the Wild. All right. So anyway,
let me tell you about Hollow Knight.
I gave up on Hollow Knight. It was too hard. I couldn't do it. It's
very hard, and I'm almost at the end, and I'm stuck, and I'm like,
I gave up.
The messenger stuff.
What about the Cup game?
Cuphead?
Yeah.
I go back to it every once in a while because it's just so fucking awesome.
But too hard.
It's one of those, it's like an old Nintendo game. You have to play it so much that you will just eventually memorize, and it just becomes second nature. It's all boss rush.
Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
It's cool though.
I have Pompeii.
I see Toppling
Goliath. Pompeii. IPA.
Nice.
Another IPA. This is my first Toppling Goliath beer.
You're not going to taste anything for days. You're going
to. So I got Toppling Goliath, Pompeii. I got King Sue, and I got the Pseudo Sue. I decided to go with Pompeii for tonight, just because Pompeii is one of those words that like it is not pronounced how it looks,
and it's fun to say. Pompeii.
It is fun to say. Pompeii.
Like it has like the P's are like. Rrr.
Yeah, and like it looks to me like it should be like Pompelli. I just like why, like why is it like this? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is it the Latin?
Pompeii?
Pompelli. Anyway, Pompeii.
Where the hell is that? I thought that was
Italy, right?
okay. Then I'm stupid.
Or is it Greece? No, it's Italy. I'm pretty sure it's Italy. Ooh, got to look this up.
Oh boy, there's somebody out there screaming at their
That's Italy. Okay, I was right
Italy?
the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that's the volcano that killed everyone and covered them in ash, and we found them years later. And the only one that I can really remember is the one where the guy who is covered in ash and say, you know what I'm about to say, right?
I vaguely remember.
He's holding on to his junk.
So he was like jerking off or whatever.
Yeah. It's the guy who's like, it's the apocalypse. Rub one out.
What a way to go.
Yeah. Got one more.
Protect my balls.
I don't think he was protecting them.
Not against that. Well, at least we found him. Dude, he died doing what he loved.
This one, it's lighter in color. It's not as aggressive. The last beer just totally blew away my taste buds. So like, I
Bowled you over.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I'm not going to rate this one. So let's see what Untapped has for this bad boy. 5.8%.
By the way, I think that we might have an upcoming opportunity for a live we be at the same venue thing. That place in Hershey's opening.
Oh, is that Shoe Brew?
No. It's the Jesse from the former Rubber Soul.
That's what it is
in this place.
Yeah,
but it's going to be, according to what I've heard, it's going to be a complete collection of all the old ABC Harrisburg people are going to be there. But it's Jesse from Rubber Soul, but they're going with the venue name as the brewery. But Rubber Soul is the people who bought the name. That's actually going into Hummelstown right up the street. So weird.
Wait. So the Rubber Soul guy is at the new Hershey location.
Yes.
Rubber Soul name, which was bought, is going to Hummelstown.
A bar in Hummelstown, yes.
Right.
But I want to go to the fancy new place. I don't care about the Rubber Soul place.
Well, the fancy new place, I mean, it's a concert venue, really, right?
It looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, I looked at the pictures today. They posted them on Facebook, and I was like, this is just too much. Like,
when do they open?
Soft opening tomorrow.
Oh.
I can't get us into that. I should have asked that yesterday. Erin, my one bartender from Speakeasy's going over there. So today was her last day there.
She's going to work there.
Yeah. And she's going to bartend. They're going to do a brunch, which I have to go try that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we give it a couple weeks, and then we'll see if we can go and squat down and do a live report from there. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and that's kind of in between us. So I'm like, that works.
That would work.
If you can make it work.
Yeah.
God knows I have time, so
I'll make it work. On location in COVID.
I have at least 6 feet of cord that we can put between us. I assure you, we can make that work.
We have to podcast safely. That's important.
No, I absolutely obey all the rules. I even put my mask on to go to the bathroom.
I'm wearing a mask right now. The folks at home can't see that, but I wear a mask inside my home. When I kiss my wife goodnight, I kiss her through the mask. That's how committed I am.
Tell you what, that's what you're into. That's awesome.
As I cough,
Sounds like you need it.
That's my non-COVID cough. I swear, it's the postnasal drip, folks. Anyway,
I've discovered during COVID that I didn't realize this. I just thought I had a perpetually runny nose. I have allergies.
Yeah,
that just start like really, really like level one allergies, and it's just a runny nose. I take a Zyrtec, it stops. I'm like, why didn't I come up with this years ago and just admit that I had allergies?
Yeah. That's what it means to be old, man. Welcome to hell.
Yeah, I know. Tell you what, my vision goes. I'm just mailing it in.
I just got new glasses. These are very nice. I like them a lot.
Warby Parkers.
But when I was,
they look just like your old glasses.
Yeah, but they're super light.
Oh, like it's a similar style though, right? Like it's
much like I don't change my haircut. I don't change my glasses that much.
I mean, if I found a style that fit my tiny head, I would just go with it forever.
Yeah. But the ophthalmologist,
optician is for glasses. Ophthalmologist is we're gonna poke your eyes with shit.
Ophthalmologist told me, hey, next year, maybe bifocals. I'm like, dude.
I'm 45. I don't even wear glasses or contacts.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, maybe next year, but next 2 to 5. 2 to 5.
Do you have cheaters?
No.
That's when you know.
And I don't wear.
And you're wearing 2 pairs of glasses?
Oh, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, you got to do it.
I don't wear contacts because I don't particularly care for them. Used to wear them, don't wear them anymore. But I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that bullshit, Ed. I'm not ready for it.
Oh, go with it, my man.
I don't know, man. Turning 40 didn't bother me. Getting bifocals, fuck that. I am not up for that shit.
I still have all my hair and I still have my eyesight. It's the 2 dumbest fucking things about me because I live recklessly and stupidly and I should be blind, deaf, and dumb. And I just somehow, my life is a wreck, but
wow.
It's just so funny today. Tierney was in here and she's looking out the back window and she's like, oh, you can see the tomatoes. Let me know how they're going. I'm like, I can't see them. She's like, oh, maybe it's time for glasses. I go, no, I'm just too short to see out the window from this chair.
Oh, man.
I can tell you how many leaves are on that tree behind it
right
now. But
and thank you for the perspective, because I'll tell you what, no matter how blind I go, this magnificent head of hair, that ain't going nowhere.
I think you're in that one for life, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a lot of hair.
That's the Mop Top Hair Shop right there.
It's great. It's great. Let me tell you, I may go old. It will go gray, but I'll have it till the end. And that
it will go gray, I assure you.
It's going
I've
real
noticed
gray.
you've gone a little more underneath the chin here.
Yeah, the beard skipped going gray and went right to white, and it did so in this really weird patch. Yeah, it's kind of an ugly patch.
It doesn't just, it's just like here, there, whatever.
Yeah, it's like this big amoeba thing on my face. It's awful. But
I feel like you'd be a good Santa when that just all goes gray.
Speaking of Santa,
no.
I don't think who's going to send their kids to go sit on Santa's lap this winter? What, with a fucking mask? Are you serious?
Shouldn't we have been wrapping these people in plastic in the first place?
There's not going to be Santa. And COVID's killed the Santa industry.
Which is fine because there won't be a mall to hold a Santa anymore.
The mall Santa's dead.
Yeah, I think FYE is the last brick holding that up, and they're like, well,
God, FYE. Who buys media? My God.
It's weird, but I will say this. What's odd, though, are the secondhand stores like a Second and Charles or because vinyl's made a comeback, people will go buy that. And but FYE also has done what GameStop has done. We also sell Funko Pops, and we also sell board games, and so they've advanced into other media, but it's still there. It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't know where else. Where else are they gonna put an Auntie Anne's pretzels? You ever see a freestanding one? That's that is a kiosk if there ever was.
Yeah. It has such a small footprint.
Yeah, and you could probably rent it for nothing, and you give samples, and people go fucking bananas for it. Yeah. I love those goddamn. I hate when those chicks approach me, and I'm like, just Get this buttery awesomeness out of my face.
The price of
Oh,
an
it's
Annie
cinnamon.
Ann's. The price of an Annie Ann's is insane.
What? I don't even know what that was. It for?
I think it's like $3.50. It's
$3.50.
ridiculous for a fucking pretzel. I mean, are you
Damn
serious?
Loch Ness monster. Did
That's
you give him
crazy.
$3.50?
God.
I just it always astounds me when you walk through the mall and you see that line at Annie Ann's and you're like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah, really. What?
Is it that good?
Well, the one that kind of baffles me is the Cinnabon.
I mean, that place lives on the scent alone.
But I never see anyone lining up for it. Like, how is it still going?
You got me. And
It's like you're
nobody
signing up
wants
for a
to be
heart
the person-
attack.
Nobody wants to be the person who's standing by themselves in line going, all right, I'll be the fat ass buying
Right,
these
yeah.
gigantic hot cinnamon rolls or whatever.
It's basically like saying I've given up. I mean, it's food suicide.
I food aside, I like that. I don't know how you didn't portmanteau that right off the bat.
I'm sorry, you're right.
My favorite thing is when there's enough.
You love portmanteau. By the way, portmanteau on
It
your
is-
IFS podcast.
Bingo.
Bingo.
It is
You take
easily
us,
my favorite literary device. That and hyperbole. I will.
Oh, I'm a big hyperbole guy.
I'll be like, it's so hot out here. I thought I was in Pompeii.
Call back.
I don't want to get caught jerking off. No. My favorite
Man,
thing is if
double
you have
down
enough
now.
Asian places in your food court, if you have at least 3, you can get almost a full lunch just on the samples alone.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just walk by, they're like, here, taste this teriyaki.
Yep.
You're like, well, I don't know. I might go try the panda chicken down here. And they're like, here, chicken.
I always like that they try to shame you after you take it. Oh, like they feel bad that you're just moving on.
I'd
Yeah.
be like, well, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
ate. No, I'm just going to go eat everybody else's
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like my white guilt does not extend to your
It's like
chicken on,
like
on a toothpick.
it's like a nice little weirdly sanitized and smaller scale Costco where everybody's just feeding you samples.
God.
Which, by the way, is a place I will not. I'll tell you what. I was talking about Costco today because I'm like, oh, I'm getting ads in my Facebook feed, even through my VPN, which is odd, that are like, all I get are keto ice cream bars from Costco and dick pills.
Hims?
I get Hims,
Yeah.
and I get
Roman.
the whatever the blue one is, and I posted that ED treatment right to you. Who wants
Yeah,
that sweet
yeah, that was
treatment
funny.
right to your door? And I was like, these are the ads that I get, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, so I'm fat and I can't get a boner.
Yeah,
This is great.
yeah.
They think I have type 5 diabetes or something. I don't know what's happening.
I get the Hims and the Roman.
I don't know what the Roman is. I haven't seen that. one.
It's hard on pills.
Yeah. Like, but and it's supposed to go off your. I'm like, I've never searched for this stuff. I don't,
Well-
it must just take your age and go. Well, this guy could use this.
Part of me is like, are they real hard on pills, or are they like I don't know,
I know Blue
like
Chew
essential
is because
oils?
That's half the podcast I listen to. Pump Blue Chew, and people
Pump
swear
Blue Chew?
by it.
What
Blue Chew. It's
is it? Viagra?
Chewable Viagra, basically, is what it is.
What we've had to make Viagra into a gummy? Are you serious?
People go nuts over it.
Oh my god! Really? That's fantastic. I don't listen to those podcasts. That's amazing.
It's listen to any wrestling podcast, and you will get a Blue Chew ad. I assure you.
What's a wrestling podcast talking about right now? I mean,
It's all. I listen to the stuff that talks about shit that already happened 20 years ago.
yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean,
okay,
it's
hey,
only so
Royal
many times-
Rumble 1994. We're gonna talk.
How many
about
times we
that.
get to talk about the Montreal screw job? I mean, really?
Tell you what, fuck Earl Hebner. That's what I have to say about that. That's what we should just start a wrestling podcast. I could just let me go for hours.
I'm wrestling adjacent. I'm aware of wrestling. I kind of like check in every once in a while, but I don't follow it.
Wrestling right now sucks. It's as much as they're trying to barrel through this stuff without the crowd, it is nothing.
So the first couple weeks when they went down to that Florida whatever place.
The
and did
Performance
it.
Center, yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
AEW's been doing it too.
I watched it twice, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. I kind of liked hearing it that way. It was an interesting experiment, and then it was awful, and I was over it. And who cares?
Now they've brought in other people from the Performance Center to like hang out by the ringside and cheer them on and stuff. It just is so. It just falls so flat. And so one good thing that's come about this is that WWE, for all its weirdness, has branched out to doing like the graveyard match that they do with Undertaker and AJ Styles.
Yeah,
They'll do pre-recorded bits that are actually quite amazing and don't need a crowd.
I hated that. I hated that bit, by the way.
I think those are great. Like the Hardy compound matches, I think are hysterically fun.
I love Hardy. I love anything Hardy. So
yeah,
that's different.
But yeah, AEW's been trying. It's just so weird, and without the crowd getting into it, it requires crowd response to be good.
Yeah,
and I think in the NFL, I don't think I'm going to miss it. Soccer, I've been pumping in the crowd noise, and it's basically the same goddamn thing. Baseball. Who cares?
Soccer was weird insofar as that it came back and immediately they crowned the champion. Liverpool won as soon as they came back. Which, if you're a Liverpool fan, I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Weren't they far ahead that they almost would have had to, like the team plane would have had to go down?
And by the way, if you don't think that you have an asterisk on your season, you're wrong. You do. And I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't care that you don't like it. So
I
screw
never
it.
believe in asterisks in sports.
Oh, no, I do because I want them to feel the pain of the asterisk. I want them to be angry. That's all I care about.
Like, ask me. I'm never like, that Braves championship gets an asterisk. It was strike.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Asterisks or whatever. I don't care.
Bullshit. Nobody cares. They're in the books.
No, whatever. I just like people being angry. And then,
nobody puts an asterisk on the Falcons Super Bowl that halftime they ended that game at halftime due to nobody cared anymore. It was 28-3.
Yeah, that's right.
No asterisk there.
There's an asterisk there. There you go. Let me ask you this question, and listeners at home, you can go along with this as well. Chances
angry tweet me after my answer.
Chances that anyone, baseball, hockey, NBA, reaches the championship in 2020.
That's a tough question, and
it is.
I'm trying to think of where we are in every season right now. I think the NBA's bubble thing is kind of stupid. And I hate that they literally made it 22 teams so that they could get what's his face from Duke in there.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
What an arbitrary number. I see what you're doing here.
Yeah,
fine. You can play NBA games without a crowd. I think.
Yeah.
They can definitely do that.
I'm actually looking forward to it without a crowd. I want to hear them.
And it's kind of like watching summer league games where it's just kind of like almost at a high school gym, and they're fun as shit because you hear people like yelling out plays and all this.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat, and I think that would work.
I want mics. I want to hear everything on the court. I want to hear everything they're saying.
I would say baseball. There's enough guys dropping out now that are just like fuck you. That are like they're gonna have a real problem on their hands where it's almost gonna be like.
And that union is, I think, just standing there ready to kill these guys, like kill the ownership on this. Just be like, pull the plug, screw it.
NFL is gonna be unique.
Well, NFL's not in the list. NFL's 2021. We're just talking about the three finish in 2020.
NBA, yes. Baseball,
you think they'll finish?
Yes.
Okay.
They'll do a small tournament in front of 80 people, and they'll figure out some way to do that and put something in the books, blah, blah, blah. Football will fuck it up because they're too brash and stupid.
Because they're football.
They're football. NCAA football, they're even worse.
Well, that's dead. There's not going to be any football this fall.
They'll be lucky if there's people going to class. And then what's our NHL? I don't even have like I don't watch the NHL. I have no fucking clue where they're at. Like are these idiot like they're a mostly international league? Are all these guys coming over from Czechoslovakia and stuff? It's not even a country anymore. People coming over from Eastern Europe to come play in America, where we're the laughing stock of the world, and nobody can stay uninfected. Like I don't see how they can continue. I think NBA perfectly fine. They'll be
really,
yeah.
They'll be fine. So my position is no one in 2020 is going to finish. Not 2020.
I get that too. I just if I had to pick a horse, I'm going with the NBA.
And see, if I had to pick a horse, I would probably go the NBA too. The NHL I will not pick because they're doing something weird. They're going into maybe a bubble, but not until after camp is over. So everyone's running their own camps and they're loosey goosey. Do whatever you want, and then you go to like one of two bubbles, an East and West bubble. Then you play in it, but the bubble is not a bubble. It's like a bubble with a gate. I don't know. I don't understand.
Bubble with a gate. How does a bubble maintain its integrity with a gate?
I don't know. MLB.
This bubble.
They're gonna. They can't. The testing's gonna be a mess.
And the problem with the MLB is they are so comically bad at running that league normally that this just can't. Like they just are the worst.
Yes.
They're gonna, and now the players are just like big name players are like, screw it, we're dropping out. Braves just signed Yasiel Puig. Is that how you say his name? That maniac. But Freddie Freeman's out with COVID right now, and 2 weeks out. You're just like, is it worth it, man?
Here's I think the real problem sports have. I think that people are getting conditioned to not having them.
I mean, I heard somebody the other day on one of the radio shows I listened to say this, and it's very true. We've gone without sports before. We've had strike years. We've had this. We've had that. We've had Olympics canceled. And nobody ever was like, oh, God, I can't live without an NFL season. If I've lived without, like, the Hawks season was killed in the middle of, me watching Trae Young go nuts, and I'm just, like, having the time of my life, even though they weren't a good team. But at the same time, I'm like, oh. But they cut it off, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't really affect me too much. I feel like there's probably a small percentage of weird bro dudes out there that are crazy enough to think that this is going to affect their lives in some way. But your damn TV show's not on this week. Just wait till next year. Like,
yeah,
we've had writer strikes in TV, like stuff like that. Sometimes shit just goes away for a while. You just deal with it, and when it comes back, you just enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Yep. Like this show goes away for months on end, and then it comes back, and hopefully you as a listener are really excited to have us back.
Oh God, that's going to be a tricky situation. We'll see how many people will give us feedback. Like, oh, you guys popped up in our because you didn't like unsubscribe or whatever.
Right.
Hopefully, we got some hangers on there, and people enjoy this. I wish we could have started it sooner because people, probably need a little bit of an alternative entertainment during their weird nonsense. But
I feel like that, like for me, podcasts is a commuting thing. It exists in my commute to and from work, and I'm working more hours now than I ever did.
Yeah, you got very important.
I hate when you say that. It really drives me nuts.
But that's true, though. I mean, like you guys,
I became more relied upon, and it become more important. Important to me,
it's the same goddamn thing.
It's important to me. Important to me is it's a societal like judgment. I'm not important.
All right, if you hate it, I won't say.
I don't like
people are like, why don't you podcast anymore? And I go, well, I mean, once you step up to it, and by important, I mean like you stepped up to a level that you can't sit around and tell dick jokes with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that's true.
That, I get that. Like
yeah,
nobody. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. I'm like, yeah, go make your career. Don't let me bring it down for Christ's sakes because I said the wrong fucking thing.
Yeah, I hear you. To the end, to that end, it just, I don't even know what to say. I don't. It's just, I like doing this show. I do. The point of the show really was I felt like I wanted to support the platform. I had something I wanted to say that I didn't want to write. And I wanted to hang out with you and Easy. Easy is way too busy. David, he's just constantly either working or coaching baseball.
He's the only guy I know who has 2 kids and has 17 children in baseball league.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. And I really care about craft beer. And I wanted like kind of a different outlet. That was the point. And that's why we're doing this.
And it is something different. And I mean, for me, it's just, like I said, telling dick jokes or whatever. But it's also just a fun way to hang out, with buddies and do something fun. We had I was thinking about this the other day when I was still waiting on the, I can't do it Thursday night thing. I was just waiting for that shoe to fall. But I was like, I don't even know if that's a saying. But I was like, man, we got so many fun guests on and stuff. And we got to interact with so many different people and do so many fun things. Like the times we got to go to Trogs and all that stuff. And I realized that was a little bit different time. But, even if we can just do like, if we're doing one a week or something and it's an hour at a time, I think that's still useful.
Yeah. I think we should do this next week.
I promise you I'll be here.
If you don't have to, just so everyone knows, I'm out of the editing. I don't got time for it. Never did. The editing was the big problem with this show. So, and this feels like it's a bit of a spectrum to talk about. I started out with a bunch of blogs. I've decommissioned more blogs than I want to even try to recall.
Like old battleships.
The problem with blogs is that they ran their course and then I delete them and move on. And I liked writing, but there was 2 things I would either do. I'd either just write first draft and publish, and then people are like, "That's trash," which it was, but I just needed to get it out. Or I would spend so much time.
It was trash.
Oh yeah, it's the fucking internet. People are brutal. Or I would spend so much time on it that the idea would go stale, and I'd have to trash it because I didn't get it perfect before I wanted to post. Long-time listener to this show, Mickey will tell you that editing me was a nightmare. So it's like, okay, wrote all these blogs. It's too much work. Well, why don't we make something that's a little bit more ephemeral? We'll do a podcast. I just talk. I can get things out quick, get all my ideas out. It's fast, easy, simple. But then the editing became so difficult. So in the old show, every hour you listened to was like 3 hours worth of recording, editing, and posting. It was like 4 hours worth of work for every hour. The hour to record and then 3 hours in post. And I just got tired of it. And and more importantly, I don't have the time for it. Beer number 4. Oh. And,
he's running laps around me. I'm about to switch to vodka.
Yeah. Time to switch from missiles to guns, man. All right. Last one. This is another Dancing Gnome. Hop Hornbeam, which has a really unique label. When there's a little tab on here that you can pull. So imagine if you purchased
Imagine
a piece.
If you lived in the 80s.
No. Imagine if you're you buy some medication and then behind the label is all the directions and the warnings.
I hate those goddamn things. Ah, look at that.
It's very
Wow, that's
weird.
Really awesome, actually.
So, hop horn beam is a hornbeam is a tree.
I thought it was Bruce Hornbeam in the Range.
Okay, that's a reference. And it's,
when you said Hornbeam, it's all that came in.
and that's the it's a weird label. It's a good beer. It's not a dancing no. Nice beer. The label is more interesting and better than the beer, which I gotta be honest, that's a little disappointing. There you go. All right. God, 4 beers. I hope I'm not slurring my words.
You're good to go, baby.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. So podcast. That's what we did.
We were talking about podcasting.
So we did
and the amount
podcasts.
of, editing and all
Yeah,
that.
it's so much work. So much work. I don't know.
I will say this: when I took over the editing of the IFS podcast, once I learned what I was doing, there wasn't a whole lot of editing that needed done. couple breaks here or there, but most of it was like pre-recording stuff, and then that's why I made an intro that I could just lay in front of it.
Well, you were better at it than I am.
But yeah, I also have a shit ton of time, and now, once I get this recording, I could probably have it done by tomorrow afternoon and have it out. I
Here's
just
the
have
real
nothing to
question:
do.
why don't you have another podcast?
Well, what's funny too, and I'll be straight shoot with you. You gave me the go ahead to take the IFS podcast and do something with it. My problem is this: I'm not a first mic. I am better at bouncing off of people than I am interviewing people. You are a good moderator and mediator that can take sides and make those things work. I am better at one-liners, quick, do this, blah, 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 blah. If you want me to sit down and Walter Cronkite this shit, you're looking at the wrong guy. But if you want a second, third, or fourth mic that can come in and crack a joke or make a witty, stupid thing, I'm better at that, and I don't like to be too overly scripted.
So
I guess,
let's brainstorm this like real time on the show. What
good?
What happens to this show?
I don't know. I think this is comfortable.
I've
I've
enjoyed it.
This. I mean, are you having a bad time? We're drinking beer.
No, we're an hour 40 into this. If you're still listening to this shit, you care about this question. So
I'll have that down to an hour 38. I assure you, with editing.
Where does this show go?
I mean, I have no problem with another regular once a week schedule.
I mean, we've talked about craft beer for maybe 20% of this. I mean, that's
what the better part about this is too, that if we do end up bringing this back up and we want to do it once a week, I have carte blanche to just get in my car and go anywhere. Just be I brought these. I brought these beers back that we can have on the show or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But I can drop them off. I can send them to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we need to do it more. I think that we have to be open to the podcast maybe being less beer centric. Maybe that's the.
I think we've always kind of towed the line of a general entertainment, general news or pop culture trivia rather than anything. That's the way I center myself. I'm not always ripped from the headlines. See my Clingers 2003 reference that got you postage stamp earlier on your Ed Bingo. But I don't know. I'm willing to talk about anything and everything, and I don't. That's why when we were talking about names for the podcast, one of my points was a lot of the names that were coming out were very beer centric. I said, well, we don't want to necessarily funnel ourselves into. We don't want to back ourselves into a corner. And be only about beer because
you're right.
I would like to talk about booze. I would like to talk about bars I've been to.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily have to do with beer.
I totally agree. I think It's Friday Somewhere, which was an early offering by me. I hated it at first. I threw it out and I was like, this is shit. I still think it's shit, but whatever. Operation Shutdown. I still really like that name. But
that is a great name. The problem is the reference is a little inside baseball.
Super obscure.
I mean, literally inside baseball, but
literally inside baseball. Yes,
but it's a great. I love that name, Operation Shutdown. It just sounds like something that the government could come up with at any second and just
so
take.
Good.
Yeah,
I love Operation Shutdown.
And I'll be like, Bill, sue the fucking government, dude. Stole your shit.
God. Anyway, all right. Let's not do 2 hours. What do we got left in the tank?
I forget. There was something I wanted to talk about, but now I forget. We can save it for the next one. Man, I'm just glad to.
This is why we used to have an agenda.
Yeah, we came in here without a net. I think the amount of talking that we did it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about all the power tools I bought during quarantine, but I don't think that's going to be intriguing radio.
So actually, this might be intriguing radio. So I have bought a significant amount of power tools. The one thing that this constraint, this COVID-19 thing has cost me is, like everyone else, Amazon dollars. The Amazon truck drives past my house 5 times a day. One of those 5 usually dropping something off. A lot of that has been power tools. My tool collection is solid at this point. I have built things that I did not think that I would ever be able to build. I built a Murphy workbench. So a workbench that folds.
I thought you were going
up.
to say a Murphy bed, and I was like, did you build a bed in your wall? That's amazing.
No, it's a Murphy workbench. So it folds up against the wall in the garage. Yeah, this old house has all these like really great. YouTube is the fucking shit. I mean, it's everything you could ever want. And I built a workbench. It folds up against the wall. It's amazing. I built a bike rack because I had all these stupid kids' bikes sitting around my garage. Build a rack, and it's a nice rack.
I choose to say yes. I love a good bike rack. I'm not taking that low hanging fruit. I am far too sophomoric for me.
You love the hanging fruit.
I'm 45. You should see the hanging fruit I've got.
Anyway, I love a nice rack. I built a nice rack. It's a beautiful bike rack. And, I was really excited. Well, I decided, you know what? I think I can build some floating shelves in a bathroom. I got some nice pieces of red oak. I cut them down. I put a nice edge on them. And I stained them. And then I go to hang them on the wall. And it's a fucking disaster. I end up putting a hole in the they won't hang right. They won't hang tight against the wall.
Oh no.
It's a total disaster. I ended up putting a hole the size of 2 golf balls in my drywall in my bathroom because I had to tear them out. I had a full-on meltdown. It was truly awful. Moral of the story: don't try to improve your home.
Well, I'm going to have to. I made this office. I had to take out all the stuff. I had to spackle. The people before me in this house put anchors in everything. And this is plaster. So I had to do a lot of spackle work. You can't see it, but there were curtains over the windows that they drilled, there were big holes in the wall. So I put the blinds in and I painted the walls gray. It's the first time I've ever painted anything in my life. And I was like, okay, second time.
Wasn't that room blue?
This was like a sea green.
Yeah.
And I covered it with, this is a shade from Sherwin-Williams called Software. The people at Sherwin-Williams.
Software. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
I love the names from Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
Super good.
It was very fun. And I had to make this like my place because the significant other's out there working in the dining room, and I'm like, well, this is where I'll be all day, every day for right now. But yeah, I learned how to spackle. I bought a reciprocating saw, a circular saw, hedge trimmers, weed eater. I'm still hiring a guy to mow my lawn because my electric mower sucks. If the lawn gets over 3/4 of an inch, it just chokes after 20 minutes. But yeah,
it's naming your sex tape.
Yeah, right. It's 20 minutes. If you're 20 minutes, what, we went twice. Like, I'm trying to kill the weeds on the side of the house. She's planting stuff out back. Like, it might actually I'm buying new appliances. I need new cabinets and everything. And people are like, you could do that yourself. This whole place, the flooring that I'm on is the original flooring that came with the house, but you can tell there was carpeting in it.
Oh.
So I want to lay other wood flooring over top of it all around the house. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's just, there's just so much when you buy an old house, and I was a first time buyer, so it's not like I could be like huge down payment to buy a better place. So it'll be interesting. Right now I'm working on getting a dishwasher, and then the oven's the next one, and those will be done. Then we can place everything. But yeah, man, home improvement sucks. Actually, she took on the biggest thing. We have a screen and porch out back, and some of the screen was damaged and flapping around. She replaced the whole damn thing while I was out camping in Bedford a couple months ago. So it's just been, I feel useless because I haven't been doing a whole lot, but at the same time, I'm just like, just want to stay out of the way and not really do a whole lot. Home Depot is my friend.
Home Depot is, unless you've made 2 or 3 visits to Home Depot in the same day, you haven't lived. Not the home life.
The one chick, I'm wearing a mask. She's like, I recognize you. You're good. I'm like, oh shit. And I never buy anything serious. I'm like, I'm here. I need 3 drywall screws. Exactly. Like, oh, okay. Here's 8 cents. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a lot of work that needs to be done that I don't feel like doing. I'm just like, screw it. So I did one room.
All right, folks. Anything else for good of the order?
No, I'm good. Feels good to get back here. I feel really good that you were impressed that I got a fucking boom for my mics.
Yeah, I like your boom mic.
Oh, it's so much nicer to have. I'm free and easy.
How much was that?
I think I only paid got them at Sweetwater. I think I got 2 of them for $40.
Oh, well, they sell me one.
Yeah, I bought them separately.
Okay.
I forget. I'll look and tell you, but I don't think they were that much. They're nice though. Like, they're nice, weighted with everything on them, and yeah.
I gotta get that.
Yeah, they're great. I've been trying to record an acoustic power hour for my friends, but
you've talked about this power hour for no less than 5 years.
The acoustics in this room suck, so I've tried to hook this up into the H4 and get it into the computer and just have it record. It is so difficult to get it to sound even remotely good. And I know that people that know me won't care, but I'm just like, man, I want it to sound good because all these people are recording music on. Some guy did Level 42 Something About You the other day on like 8 instruments, and he's recording it. He's got 2 cameras, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh fuck, I wish I could make it sound good. It just
I might be the only person that cares about this, but the Goldfinger.
That's what I'm.
Those
brilliant.
Those
Here
Goldfinger
in your bedroom.
Yeah,
maybe
the Superman one.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
they're great.
They are so good. Yeah. There are certain artists that have like grasped onto the constraint and said, "I can make this work," and done amazing things.
110%. And I do it, and it like I'll listen to it, and I'm like, it sounds okay, but I'm like, it's not as tight as I want it, and it's just. I'm only trying to do 60 seconds acoustic on one song, and it's a pain in the ass.
60 seconds is tight, and you got to hit the riff.
Know which part of the song to do? But
yeah.
What I want to do, what I think the only solution is to take a mic for my voice and then run it through the H6 with a mic run right in front of I have an acoustic amp back here, and just play it with the mic through there so that it's not the guitar itself.
You know what the right answer is here. You're not the right answer is here. You're not going to hear it. You know what the right answer is.
Do it and make it suck.
No. You're going to need a Mac.
Oh no, that has nothing to do with it. I can't change from right click to left click. It's just not in the cards.
Come on, that was funny. All right. On that note, and at the 2 hour, we're not quite at 2 hour mark. God knows
All you
when we
need to
cut
do
this
is to
down.
buy a $2,000 laptop, and you'll be fine.
Look, throwing money at the problem has never failed me.
I don't disagree with that.
Oh God, I love my Mac.
We'll see when I try to replace these floors I'm
So
in.
good, so good, so good. All right, folks. How do we used to end these? I forget.
I'm gonna hit stop.
Oh, that's right. And on that note, I'm gonna hit stop.